In the village of Umuaka, there lived a man every woman desired. He was tall, handsome, wealthy, and confident. Mothers prayed for him as a son-in-law. Young women whispered about him at the river. Men envied him quietly. But there was one secret that slowly began to trouble the entire village. No woman could satisfy him. His name was Obina. He had inherited vast farmlands, cattle, and a large compound in the heart of the village. Wealth came easily to him, and so did admiration. When he married his first wife, Adaize, the village celebrated for days. She was gentle and kind, waking before sunrise to prepare meals, sweeping the compound until it sparkled, speaking with respect and grace. But 3 months later, Obina called her family and sent her back home. She lacks something, he said coldly. He did not explain further. The villagers were confused, but they remained silent. Soon, he married again. This time it was Ngozi, known across villages for her breathtaking beauty. Her skin glowed like the golden sunset, and her laughter filled the air like music. Surely, they thought, this would be the one. Yet, 4 months later, she too was returned to her father's house. She is not enough, Obina declared. Whispers began spreading like harmattan fire. Some said he was cursed, others said he was too proud, but no one dared confront him openly. After all, he was wealthy, and wealth commands silence. The third wife was strong and intelligent. She managed his household accounts wisely and worked beside him on the farms. She lasted 5 months, gone. The fourth wife was cheerful and playful, always smiling, always hopeful, gone. One by one, women entered his compound as brides and left in quiet shame. Finally, the elders could no longer ignore it. One evening, beneath the ancient Iroko tree, they summoned Obina. Marriage is not a wrapper you change every market day, the oldest elder said firmly. Tell us, what exactly are you looking for? Obina leaned back and replied without hesitation, I want a perfect woman. The elders exchanged troubled glances. There is no perfect woman, one said gently. There must be, Obina insisted, and I will find her. At the far end of the village lived a quiet young woman named Amara. She was not known for extraordinary beauty, nor did she come from wealth. She spoke little, but her eyes missed nothing. When Obina announced his intention to marry again, many families avoided him. But somehow, his attention settled on Amara. The village murmured in disbelief. Why her? Amara agreed to the marriage calmly. From the very first day in his compound, she observed carefully. She noticed how Obina searched for flaws even in perfection. If the soup tasted rich, he complained it was too salty. If it was mild, it lacked flavor. If she dressed beautifully, he accused her of pride. If she dressed simply, he called her unimpressive. Nothing ever pleased him. Months passed, and just as the others before her, Amara was summoned one evening. Obina sat with his usual expression of disappointment. You two are not enough, he said. But unlike the others, Amara did not cry. She did not beg to stay. She did not defend herself. Instead, she looked at him calmly and asked, What exactly is missing? Obina opened his mouth, and for the first time in his life, he struggled to answer. You just don't make me feel complete, he finally muttered. Amara's voice remained steady. No woman can complete a man who is empty inside. Silence filled the room like a heavy cloud before rain. You search for perfection in others because you cannot face your own imperfections. You blame every woman because it is easier than looking at yourself. You are not dissatisfied with us, Obina. You are dissatisfied with who you are. Her words pierced deeper than any spear. For years, Obina had believed happiness would come from finding the perfect woman. But standing before Amara, something cracked inside him. He felt something unfamiliar. Shame. That night, instead of sending her away immediately, he walked alone to the riverbank. The moon reflected on the water as memories surfaced. His father's harsh expectations, the pressure to be flawless, the fear of failure, the terror of being seen as inadequate. All his life, he had chased perfection in himself. And because he could not achieve it, he searched for flaws in others first. If he rejected them, they could never reject him. For the first time, he realized the truth. The emptiness he felt was not caused by any woman, it was born within him. At dawn, Obina returned home. His pride felt heavier than ever before. He found Amara preparing the morning meal and stood quietly for a long moment. Then, in a voice stripped of arrogance, he said, "Forgive me." No dramatic display, no excuses, just sincerity. Days turned to weeks, weeks turned to months. Obina began to change. He stopped comparing. He stopped criticizing every small imperfection. He started listening. For the first time, peace settled in his compound. The villagers noticed. The man who once discarded wives like worn garments now walked with humility. Laughter returned to his home. Respect replaced whispers. Years later, the elders would say, no woman in the village could satisfy him because the hunger was never outside, it was within. And so, the village of Umuaka learnt a lesson that day. Sometimes, the problem we blame on others is the battle we refuse to fight inside ourselves. Until we confront our own emptiness, nothing and no one will ever be enough.